Hello, this is Trevor Cutmore. Welcome to my YouTube. Another Monday, another interview, and it was great pleasure that I introduced to you a really good friend of mine, Angelos, down in Plymouth.
Hey,
and I have to tell you that this man and his family were responsible for giving me the name of my company, Table at 12.
You're welcome.
It was great, I tell you. So we've been long-standing friends, helped you a little bit on your journey at the beginning.
Indeed.
And I've been down here speaking at the PIG.
Professional Investment Group, indeed.
Professional Investment Group, you have to be careful, got to be PC. And look, I mean, we really ought to mention... Afro, because our wives might get a little bit
Jealous.
Yeah, might do.
Sorry. Oh, this isn't live, is it, Trevor?
It is. Listen, let's start with a little bit. Why have we got Afro here?
Well, Afro's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Go back a long time. She's been around for a long time, Trevor.
yeah. She's getting old a little bit.
I'm building a Greek temple in my garden, and it's going to be a nice water feature with columns and Afro and other statues of people that I admire. And that's why we've got her and all of her siblings in the room. There's 6 of them.
It's really interesting. But look, we're not here to talk about Afro, although she's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
All right, sometimes should have gone to Specsavers, but they don't quite fit. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We love her dearly. So, Angelos, look, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in property? And a little bit about your journey and where you are.
Yeah, sure. So, the honest answer is my mum made me.
Right.
This was, 2007, just before it all kicked off. And just finished my IT degree, and all I wanted to do is become an IT manager. Yeah, that was the dream. And that's all I wanted. There's nothing more complicated than that. And then one day my mum said to me, I think you should have a look at this 6-bedroom student house. I was like, houses, I'm not interested in any of that malarkey. I want to be a manager, because that's what I've been learning and aiming for 4 or 5 years at university. Anyway, so she persuaded me to go along, and before I knew it, I bought it, and I'd gone from being a student to suddenly being a landlord. And that was a great learning curve because the first property had subsidence, so I had to very quickly bring myself up to speed on the physical structure of properties and some of the problems that you encounter. And then I steadily bought 1 or 2 properties per year and built up my portfolio here in Plymouth. And then over time, I got a bit frustrated because I wanted to grow quicker. I'm a very ambitious person. And, I reached out to yourself, and we had a good chat. And we worked together. You guided me through some interesting times. And I've since then grown the portfolio quite significantly. So now I buy blocks of flats where they need a lot of work. I then refinance, pay back investors, and then effectively keep the asset, keep the rent coming in, and grow the equity as well. And I end up with a high quality product because I take great pride in the work I do.
Yeah.
And I attract high quality tenants, and they stay for a long time. So at the moment I've got various projects in the pipeline, as well as I'm finishing off 3 refurbs at the moment. And it's going really, really well. But on top of everything else, I run a podcast called Your Success Podcast, where I interview great people. Just interviewed Mr. Trevor Cutmore himself, which spawned writing with my co-author Mo Hakier, a number 1 best-selling book about how to be successful.
Yeah.
I also have the Professional Investment Group, which you were the very first speaker.
Yes.
And you encouraged me to...
We birthed it in this room. It started in this room.
And we had 7 people with a fire on.
I was the speaker.
You were the speaker, 7 people. And fast forward 6 years this month, and we've got 1,000 members across the southwest of England. And we meet up once a month in Plymouth and in Truro, and we talk about property, personal development, mortgages, and it's a great, great community. And I'm really proud of the work that the community has done. And you encouraged me because I wanted to set up something, and you just gave me that little bit of a push. And I'm really grateful for that. And so moving forward in the future, Trevor, I'd like to think that the property portfolio is going to continue to grow, where I provide high quality products for great tenants. But I'm also writing a second book. the uglier side of property nightmares.
Yeah, okay.
And that's going to cover a great spectrum of everything to do with property, whether it's...
the truth about it.
The truth, yeah.
So many people dress it up, don't they? They really do. They say, oh, how wonderful it is, and get this and do this, but they don't tell you the truth about it. They don't.
And also there's many expensive lessons that readers will avoid if they implement what they learn from the book. So really excited for that, and the podcast is growing amazingly well. And yeah, I can't wait to put Afro and her sisters in the garden and finish off my lovely Greek temple.
So listen, where is it you saw me speak first when we met? Where was it?
So it was at the Super Conference.
Was it Wembley or Chelsea?
Wembley
Stadium.
So that was an awesome event, absolutely awesome event, and credit to the guys that ran that one.
Yeah.
And I saw you speaking. I think you were doing the whole gangbang style at the time.
Oh dear, yeah.
This man has got the best hair in property. Look at that hair.
It's not coloured, it's natural, it is pure.
Even Donald Trump is jealous of that hair. Look at it. The best hair in property.
He always says that.
Oh, it's only because my hair is receding.
Look, obviously, it's a great story. It really is, and you know, I've known Angelos through that journey. I really have. But with that journey, obviously, there is some. You know, people are there in employment. They think that they can't do it, or it's a slightly beyond them, or they're a little bit nervous to take that step. And obviously, you know, I worked with you for a little bit, and you know, hopefully gave you some value there in helping you and giving you a push sometimes and an arm around you other times. But what would you say to people who are on that, you know, in the rat race, trying to make the step or teetering? Should I do it? Should I not? And it's a difficult time with the economy, but there's always something going on with the economy. What would you say to them?
It's an interesting question because there are so many different tiers and variations to each person's situation. All I can advise people, and what I suggest to the people that I mentor, is really question why you want to do it. That's the most important question. Yep. Why? What is your motivation for that? Is it because you want lots of riches, but that isn't really a true measure of why? Because when the shit hits the fan, Trevor, you need to make sure that your why is well and truly within you and aligned to your values. Because once it is, then nothing's going to stop you.
Yeah.
If it's something superficial like money or a nice car, when things get really tricky, that isn't going to be enough of a motivator for you.
No.
So if your why is strong enough, and for me, I've always been entrepreneurial, I've always been very ambitious, stuck in a 9-to-5 job, it was always going to be very constraining for me.
Yeah.
And so I had to get out. It's part of my nature. So if that's a struggle that you can relate to, then I suggest the first thing I would do is write down on a vision board, you know, where do you want to be? 1, 5, 10 years. And visualize and create this future for yourself. Because once you start doing that, it becomes a real thing within your mind. It doesn't just become a thought, it becomes a physical, tangible thing. And it's almost like your northern light. It keeps guiding you in times of trouble.
I agree.
Once you've done that, then you need to set dates. Because we can all want something in 5-10 years' time. But start setting some actual dates, because then you can reverse engineer it. So what do I have to do in 2 years' time, in 1 year time, 6 months, next week, tomorrow?
So is this not what I sat and was teaching you when we had our sessions together?
These are wise words. You know, I don't claim them for my own. I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants.
Oh, dude, it's fun.
But that's really important, and it will be hard. There will be many, many struggles. And this is why I say to people, you need to make sure that your why is truly aligned with your values, because if it's not, then you're probably going to get strayed off the path. You're going to be seduced by shiny pennies, whether it's another strategy, whether it's Forex or whatever it may be.
Laser focus and go for one thing.
But also find people that have done it before you. You know, why create a new path when you can shortcut and stand on the shoulders of giants and learn from their experience, learn from their mistakes. And sometimes you just need a little bit of accountability or a shoulder to cry on, whatever it may be. Employ someone who's a lot further ahead of you, because they'll see problems in a very different way than you. They'll give you another view on things, and also a problem for you may not be a problem for them, and you will apply their experience, and it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
So someone a lot further ahead of you will look back at that small problem and go, actually, it's not that big a deal. This is all you need to do.
Yeah. I mean, again, I have mentors, you have mentors, and I think that's really important. And because people think, why do I need it? But I think it accelerates, it saves you money, and it gives you much greater focus, and it gives you accountability. But just briefly, before we finish, it's a subject that is dear to me, the people around you. And this is something in your journey from when you left employment and coming through. I know personally that I actually had I lost friends, a certain amount of friends, because I had to move on. What about yourself in the friends around you? Is that something that you've had to cut some people off and move with other people?
So a very famous person whose name escapes me, it's been a long night, we're talking about properties at 3:30 in the morning. He said that I can predict where you will be in 5 years by the 5 people around you.
Absolutely.
And it's very true. If you surround yourself with people, and I talk about it in your success book, if your environment very much shapes how you're going to be. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to surround yourself with positive people, with people who will give you great feedback.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to have people who will criticise because there are some genuine learnings there.
Yeah.
We're not saying get rid of everyone negative.
No.
But if you have people who, let's say, you go down the pub with and their mission in life is just to have a nice, stable life, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
But they're not necessarily the people that are going to push you and drive you and encourage you and motivate you when you have a problem or you need to discuss an idea. They want to talk about the football, drinking, having fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But they're not the right people for you if, let's say, you're on this great destiny, on this great journey. And one thing I'll say to everyone at home is that if you have a gift within you, you owe it to the world to share it. Yeah. Don't keep it within you. There's nothing worse than, let's say, you're laying on your deathbed and going, if only I did this, if only I did that.
I agree.
The 2 saddest words in the English language, if only.
Yeah.
So if you have a talent or a gift or you feel that you want to take a chance, just do it. Create that thing. Give that out to the world. If it fails, you failed, but at least you tried.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And if you surround yourself with great people, then the chance are the risk of failing is minimised.
Yeah. Look, I'll just add to that briefly. I agree with everything you said there, and surround yourself with some people that will criticise you, but you've got to be careful. There are negative people, and I've lost a lot of friends and acquaintances that I've met. Why? Because I've had to leave them on that path, because they're only going to stay where they are, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that, just as Angelos has said. But the people I want around me to criticise me, because I invite criticism, I've got no problem with it. I want to learn, I want to get better. But there's a great proverb, and it says, it is better to be wounded by your friend than kissed by your enemy. So one of my best friends, who sadly died in a helicopter crash, he gave me a pen, a Mont Blanc pen, and it had a scripture on it, which basically said, what does it say about if he inherits the world? And he basically said, Trevor, be careful, because if you go after the silver penny, after riches, you can actually lose your soul and who you are. And it really spoke to me, because, it's not just about people criticising your journey, it's about you as a person. And, he had the right to speak into my life, and I received it, and I have tried to keep humility, I've tried to keep integrity. It's a goal. You never arrive at that, by the way. You can never turn around and say, when someone says that, there's a joke about it, said, the proudest thing I have is my humility, which is a stupid thing. But it's a life conquest that you go after. But be careful that you're not chasing that silver penny and losing yourself in the way that you respect others. But it's important to have the right people to criticise you, not people who say, who do you think you are? You're doing... No, you need to get rid of them.
And sometimes, Trevor, it can be the people closest to you.
Yeah.
So your parents.
Yep.
And you can't just sack them off. You need your parents, right?
Yeah.
But it's minimising the discussion around certain topics.
Absolutely.
So you don't get provoked or you don't go down that road, because it's not necessarily a reflection of you.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of them, and perhaps they haven't achieved, or there's unfulfilled desires and goals in their life, and you are taking this great risk, and all they're trying to do is perhaps just keep you safe, right? Because it's safe to them is not taking any risk. But was it Rob Moore that says, if you don't risk anything, you risk everything? And I think that's very true.
No, absolutely. Look, if you're coming Plymouth way, Cornwall way, Truro, whatever, on holiday, or you're living in this area, then you've got to be contacting Angelos. You've got to be coming to the pig meeting, and getting some of his knowledge, experience and network, which is great because you're sharing your network as well. So how do they contact you?
Find me on Facebook, Angelos Sanders, or YouTube, Your Success Podcast, or yoursuccesspodcast.com, or just Google me and I'm sure you can reach out. And if you're interested in the network meetings, it's pig.network and you'll find all the information and upcoming events.
Listen, Angelos, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Trevor.
And Athena, you were gorgeous, all right?
As always.
As always. So listen, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope that you've been encouraged on your journey, and I'd love to hear from you, and please contact Angelos. I wish you a wonderful week, and look, in your property journey, you're going to hit bumps in the road. By having people close to you that you can bounce off, whether that's mentors or other entrepreneurs that can talk the truth and encourage you and admonish you in the right way, is a powerful way forward. So again, have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.